I talked about the racism in certain capitalistic approaches. You talked about the NFL talking out of both sides of their mouth, for lack of a better way of saying it. How do you manage that from a perspective of this? You're out there telling your truth as articulate as you can, whether it's in print or on TV or social media or on your radio show, right? But you got bosses, and
Mm-hmm.
and your bosses and the entities you work for are all capitalists. That's the
Mm-hmm.
society we have chosen. And let's be 1,000 with each other here. We are capitalists, right? When they give you that check, you're like, thank you very much. Or no, I need more. I need this. I mean, how do you balance that? Because I've told a lot of stories on this podcast about brokering deals with Fortune 100 companies. In the last year, Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies have the conversations I'm having are directly rooted in the BLM movement, directly rooted in what basketball players are doing, and brands want to get behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want to get behind it from a surface level. Sometimes behind closed doors, they ain't about it. Mm-hmm. And so I've had to struggle through that. My personal struggle has been balancing my capitalistic side and balancing where my morals and my ethics sit. But I'm also not interfacing with the world the way you are. So how do you do it?
Starts off with prayer, and that's real talk. You know, I try to make sure that either right away or certainly before I leave the house, I just spend some time just recalibrating my spirit and making sure that I'm not becoming arrogant, that I'm not becoming so focused in on what I think is important that I now have a blind eye to the needs and values of others. So I just pray for a lot of guidance and balance before I start my day, certainly before I get to the teeth of my day. And once I've moved from there and I'm feeling good about where my values are, I try to make sure that I don't change them for money. And since we're being 100, I know I've lost millions of dollars. I know I have. I 1000% know that I never, to this point, have gotten like what other people with my skill set and experience at certain companies I've been at have gotten.
Because they're scared of you?
I think there's a variety of reasons, and fear is certainly one of them, for sure. When I first started in this business and I wanted to get into sports, the sports editors would tell me in my face that they wouldn't hire an openly gay guy. I had 3 guys tell me that, 3 different newspapers. So right there, from the 90s, I was already being
federally illegal, but I hear what you're saying. But that's
no, it wasn't in the 1990s, and it actually is not illegal today. I can still today be in a state that does not have protections for LGBTQ people, right, and be kicked out of my house or lose my job for being so.
Right.
Today, we forget that from time to time because we got Will and Grace and Modern Family and people getting married on the coast and things like that. So we think we're further along than what we really are. The reality is that there are people who are fearful of coming out because they think they may lose their job today in this country today. So I've already experienced how my sexuality, my sexual orientation has limited me professionally. And as I said, I work for all these companies and I'm very, very grateful and thankful for it. And I'm blessed to be in the positions that I am. But I'm also acutely aware of that glass ceiling that's been following me for the last 20 plus years. So you ask, how do I balance it? I balance it not through a monetary lens, but through an impact lens. Do I feel as if I'm changing hearts and minds? And when I'm at my lowest, and I was pretty low actually earlier this week, like really low, like listening to Linkin Park low. So
that's your go-to?
this is one of them. And I lost someone who was close to me, and he was a fierce advocate. His name was Ari Gold, not the Entourage guy, but the singer guy from New York. And I found myself sitting there asking if I'm doing enough. Am I working hard enough? Am I making a difference? And I got an email from someone who, long story short, shared a story about how what I was doing helped their brother as their brother was coming out of the closet. And I thank God, because it was a low point, and I was going through my head, asking myself, was this all worth it? Should I just got the bag, kept my mouth shut, stick to sports, And I saw that email and I was like, thank you, Jesus. I'm on the path. I'm on the path you told me I'm supposed to walk. And I'm going to stay focused with what I have and not spend too much time looking at what I don't have.